Nutrimedical Report for Thursday, the 3rd of November. We're only a couple days away now from Election Day. And we're going to be connected to Leo Lyons-Agami in Rome by Skype. I just want to mention a little bit of humor in this dark period of time where the wildebeest is now being pursued by the agents. And again, I think that the FBI agents that are continuing to pursue this at multiple sites, including here in Southern California, are heroes. And in fact, they stood up even when the Department of Injustice and Loretta Lynch, who had made a deal, obviously, with Hillary, were trying to suppress the idea of getting a grand jury. So I'm very proud of the FBI. I want them to know that we really applaud them. They're actually standing up to have justice for all and have it fair. So I'm very proud of them. One of the first things, if you want to look at the dark side of the humor of this, I'd like to change the name if she gets elected because, of course, these investigations aren't going to be completed by next Tuesday. Her new title won't be Commander-in-Chief. It'll be Grifter-in-Chief. How's that? Because of the sale of everything inside the government and State Department. Grifter-in-Chief. I think it's appropriate. Also, we have the lying king and Obama, who's been caught now lying about the emails. I'm sure it goes back to Hillary Clinton protection and the State Department, as well as the Department of Justice. I'm willing to bet that the Abominator is going to be implicated in this as well. So if he's not running scared, he should be. So then we have a possible inauguration in January where the combatant, Hillary, the wildebeest, might have a cuff on her wrist and she might have an orange jumpsuit. So this isn't going to go away, by the way. It is not going to go away. All this foolishness of talking about it's not Russia hacking. Again, this is Assange coming up with more information. This statement by Hillary Clinton and by, quote, 17 agencies is so obscene even New York Times couldn't support it. So when even New York Times is totally Hillary supportive, this is pretty bad. And of course, Obama is worried that the blacks are going to stay away from election. Like, a lot of blacks are going to vote for Trump because they want to have a home, a car, and they want to have a safe passage back and forth to work or to the theater or have safe neighborhoods. And I heard a very, very good statement today, this morning, that was yesterday evening by O'Reilly. And the man is very intelligent, although sometimes he tries to laud his intelligence. He's been a pretty good author, too. But he made a very good statement, which is, years ago, we had carjacking, and we changed it to make it a federal offense if it was carjacking, so it stopped the crime. If we simply said the illegal possession of a gun, we're not talking about taking away Second Amendment rights, the possession of an illegal gun by gang members should give a mandatory 5-year sentence in federal penitentiary. And if they've done something like rob a 7-Eleven, it's on top of that. That would have immediately cleaned the streets. And in fact, we already know the names of probably most of these gang members, so we just simply kind of raid their gang facilities or catch them or, as they say, scoop them up off the street, and if they have an illegal gun on them, they're gone to the big house for 5 years minimum. That would clean up the streets pretty quick. And I'm not talking about just where you're just sitting around in the cell. I want them to, learn skill sets and actually get trained so that when they get out in 5 years, maybe they can actually have a life. Maybe school for them is going to be inside the prison cell, but they're also going to have to make something so they can actually be employed. And, we want prison to be a positive thing rather than a negative thing for these people. We also want to make sure there's no drugs in prison or training so they become bigger, badder criminals. But if we clear the streets of people that are illegally carrying guns, then the Second Amendment rights for those people like myself to carry guns and want to be able to have concealed carry are safe, and no one's going to take our rights. The fact is, all the policies of the progressive left, the Democrats, they want to take away guns from law-abiding citizens that are probably properly store their guns and take proper care. Maybe we need just more public training programs on the media to say, hey, make sure your guns are safe. We're going to make special deals as federal tax write-offs for proper gun cases and gun safety, commercials and so on, and get it out to the community to make sure that, hey, if you have a gun, you take care of it so little kids can't get it and people can't have safety locks on so it's protected. But that's easy. I thought O'Reilly's idea was fantastic. And the Democrats will never do it. I think Trump would if this idea is presented to him, which I'm willing to bet that O'Reilly will present it to him. And he also came out and talked specifically about Glass-Steagall the other day. I'm just really pleased by how things are going. And I had an interesting talk last night. My audio didn't work properly in my screen capture because we're doing a lot of upgrades. We're soon going to have the capacity to have up to 10 different guests simultaneously on conferences on our video live stream. That's coming in the next probably few weeks, where we can actually have multi-site conferences either live and also they'll be recorded and saved for you to watch. But we're going to have all kinds of special video materials. We have right now many videos. I'll probably be doing one today after the show with Tim Alexander, doing updates on the latest news, etc. And on products, you're going to see videos on every product. Wellness protocols will be available, but to be pay-per-view over on Vimeo. We allow only access to our wellness conditions for those people who are our regular and our highly valued customers, and they can only go through the gate of Michelle. And if you want to get information, though, for your particular condition, it's free. You just need to contact me by email and say, Dr. DEAGLE, I have this or that problem. I will tell you what to take. So it's that simple. And I find that works better than just having an open wellness conditions where you're looking at things maybe a year or so ago, and it doesn't deal with your specific situation. So that's the latest news there. And I don't know if we have Leo Zagami yet. Leo, are you there? No sign of Leo yet. Well, he probably is having... Hopefully the earthquakes aren't having effects on them over there and their power, etc. Because we learned on Wednesday that Harley Schlanger said that the Brussels government talked about austerity fascism. They didn't want any money from the European Union to pay for rebuilding the buildings and the waterworks, etc., and the infrastructure, which I think is pretty crazy. So the Italians, of course, are up in arms over the idea that they didn't want them to rebuild their homes and their cities and their towns and their waterworks, which I find pretty amazing. Now, looking at some of the latest news, of course, we're looking at Trump is beating Clinton and the Israeli absentee voters as well, by the way, which is really good. I mean, Israel knows that Trump, who has, by the way, 2 Jewish grandchildren, is very likely going to change the nature of who really supports Israel. And again, Israel has lots of problems. We don't want them hacking into our security. We do not want them to kind of control our policies through the super PACs, etc. And those things can be taken care of as well as we're cleaning up the corruption in Washington, D.C. It's not just the groups like Hillary Clinton that are, grifters. It's Israel trying to control American policy, and that's not good. It's not good for Israel either, because in many ways they're doing things that I consider unethical and illegal, like supporting ISIS and even taking care of ISIS people that are injured. So Israel is actually playing with fire doing that, and we could stop that under a Trump administration. So that's what's coming there. Some of the latest announcements, we have now our new upgraded transdermal pumps for hormone support. Those are available. We're clearing the last of our other inventory, which is going pretty quickly. We have DHEA and pregnenolone to support adrenal glands and male and female hormones. We have progesterone. Your body will make enough estrogen in women. If you take DHEA and pregnenolone, it will also make enough testosterone. The disadvantage if you take too much of the male or female hormones, if you take too much, your body will tend to bioconvert it to the opposite sex hormones. We have special formulas that are really unique that prevent that. Our hormone synergy will not only stop hot flashes, but it stop excess conversion to female hormone from male hormone. In fact, for example, a lot of males are taking hormone injections or pills and or transdermal creams that are very potent, and they may have higher estrogen levels, believe it or not, than their daughter that's just going through menarche and starting to have periods, which is weird. So you'll see 55-year-old males starting to develop breast buds because their testosterone levels are high, but their female hormone levels are into orbit. So that's not good for them. It also can cause prostate enlargement, which can cause prostatism, so you don't want that. So we have those now available. The new pumps I really like. They're usually, instead of one big pump, you take 4 little pumps. The cream is fantastic. And we also use for joint inflammation, and I have one sitting right on my desk, our new pregnenolone pump. You can put that on any joint, your wrist, if you've got carpal tunnel syndrome, your knee. You can put it over an area of dermatitis in your skin. We have the pregnenolone cream. We also have curcumin cream, which is the special white curcumin, so you don't get turned orange when you use it. The curcumin actually works on the epigenetics and the cytokine levels. The pregnenolone turns off the inflammation. And, if you've got a dermatitis or a sunburn or a scrape, or if you've got a sore joint like a knee or wrist or tendonitis, pregnenolone cream is amazing stuff. So that's, I want you to, our new pumps are really, really, really high quality. We managed to select a manufacturer for us that now is really, we're really pleased with it. Now our NutriSilver is flying off the shelves. People love it. I want to go over some of the technology of the NutriSilver. The first thing is, this has taken years in development. We take angstrom atomic level silver. We then put it through hydrogenation to make it alkaline, and then we wrap it in an enzymatic liposomal envelope. And that means it's going to deliver to the target tissues. It is orders of magnitude even stronger than the Silver 100, which is hundreds of times stronger than basically inert silver. Colloidal silver, oxysilver that Len Horowitz talks about, which is all garbage, silver lungs generators, or any of these other forms of silver, basically mainly has inert metal. There's a very tiny portion that's ionic, but the problem is, unless it has a delivery mechanism, which we had with silver citrate in the Silver 100, this is even beyond that, because it's an enzymatic liposomal delivery system, and the alkaline state of the mineral attached to hydrogen also makes it much, much more powerful. And it's 100% stimulant of your stem cells, kills all known pathogens, fungi, bacteria, mycobacteria, and etc. The NutriSilver we have in the spray and the dropper, and the prices are great. I mean, we have $29.71 sale price and free shipping. You can't beat it. And we have 3-pack and 6-pack specials as well, with even better prices. So the other sales we have right now are the Allison Med, free shipping. Allison Med, by the way, 650 milligrams, 200 milligrams more than Alamed, which by Peter Jostling, with a delivery system from a German-based company that we get it from. And this delivery system means you get at less than half the price of Alamed for more per capsule. That's amazing. Brain Power Vinpocetine, that's on a special right now, free shipping. Only $24.97 for the Brain Power to protect your brain. And then we have, of course, NutriDefense, which I designed. This blocks all viral and bacterial entry into tissues, stimulates your natural killer cells, blocks the Fenton reaction, which is very important, by the way, and it has superoxide dismutase. Now, this is part of what I call a triad of what I call the top 3 for life extension. NutriDefense with superoxide dismutase, Anti-H Max with the telomere lengthening formula to actually lengthen your telomeres with dimethyl resveratrol, etc., and the use of cell detox glutathione. Now, we have other things that can increase your cellular energy. NADH tablets. I have a little bottle sitting here on my desk, and it's like, this is a jet fuel, I call it. I've just picked it up. So, take an NADH tablet and either bite it or put it under your tongue. In literally a matter of minutes, you get super energized. They did studies in animals, and they found if you give NADH to older animals, it instantaneously reactivates their mitochondria. You don't have to wait days or weeks. It's literally minutes. So that's NADH. The other we have is D-ribose. Our Sports Energy Light formula, by the way, activates your ATP. So if you want to increase ATP, Sports Energy Light, these are all we call anti-aging. So the big triad, the first top 3 in the triad is NutriDefense, Anti-H Max, and Cell Detox Glutathione. If you do that, your cells are going to get younger and younger every day and week you use that, and then you can add other additional things to prevent oxidative stress. Like Nutritrella, carnosine D-Link. If you're diabetic, it actually delinks the glycosylation in your proteins. Nutritrella, long-acting alpha-lipoic acid. These are amazing formulas. Now we are ramping up our PPRDI in New York. We're working on a clinic in Northern California for remote testing, for QRMA, and for metapathia. Now we've set it up also so people can purchase the QRMA and the metapathia device with time payments. You can become a remote site for testing, and I'll train you how to do that. It is not a device where you just do a test and boom, give it to someone. It requires a consultation with me, so they do not get scheduled unless they have a consultation and fill in the consult form first before they actually get scheduled for their QRMA test or their metapathia test. It's not like, boom, here's a test, here's all your results, this is what you do. It is amazing. And I tell a lot of people that are even thinking about getting a QRMA, if you get a QRMA for yourself and your family, all the QRMA interpretations. Now, this is not separate from a full consult where we look at all your medical records. Is covered for you and your family. And I'm pretty lenient on that. So if it's your first cousin, or if it's your mom, or your grandparents, or your grandkids, they're all covered. So all I have to do is send me the compressed file and a brief history of what their issues are, and I'll tell you what supplements they require, what health issues we need to investigate, and what kinds of interventions we can do with not only Nutrimeds but other technology. So that's pretty amazing. We also have Green Tea Supreme. This is the most powerful form of green tea. One capsule equals 10 pots of green tea. It'll actually not only get rid of your bad breath, but it also stimulates fat metabolism to burn off calories. It's also a major detoxer for grabbing a hold of biotoxins out of your body, chemicals like bisphenol A and all kinds of chemicals. It's a major detox. We have Cardiovasc, the original formula. And this is free shipping, enough for 2 months, for some even taking the maximum dosage, which is a large male. If you're female, it'll last you 4 months because you're taking half the dosage. We have, of course, the Life Support Vanilla. And, what we're doing now in our plans for videos is every day we're generating 1 to 2 to 3 videos. And we're posting those links up on our YouTube and Vimeo channels. And by the way, you'll see them on both. So if YouTube ever pulled anything, you just go to my Vimeo channel. You'll see all the same videos over there. We have the DEAGLE network for all our audio, and they're all cross-linked, so you can actually search for any topic. So if you want to check out congestive heart failure or bronchitis or sinus problems or periodontal disease, you can actually just put it in there and it'll tell you where the show is. You can actually pull out an audio clip, whether it's 30 seconds or 60 seconds or 4 minutes. You can pull that clip and send it to anybody you want. It's all free. All the services are free. We have, of course, the Listen Live numbers that we have through Republic Broadcasting. We have, of course, our live stream channel, and if you sign up, we'll notify you. Live stream is being upgraded now with a new special Black Magic chip and special software that allow us to actually broadcast multiple cameras here, but up to 10 different sites anywhere in the world simultaneously. So we can do live stream conferences, which we're going to be coming on with all kinds of different topics, health topics, geopolitical, spiritual issues, etc. Those will also be archived and available. We have the Xeno Live phone number. If you dial 701-801-2263, after the show, when I've updated it, because I do it personally, and tag and code everything, you'll be able to listen to the archives repeated 8 times a day. We have also the Vimeo HD channels. All the channels are available. We do have pay-per-view channels for special documentaries and for the wellness condition protocols. They're not free. The wellness condition protocols, we're also going to be putting up protocols for health professionals. Those will also be pay-per-view on Vimeo only. They're not going to be on YouTube. The number to call in if you want to find out and ask questions, and the only hour that we don't take callers is the third hour on Fridays, which is the firing line where we literally answer your questions. Called into our order line, 888-212-8871, or email. And basically, primarily health questions, but we will talk about spiritual and geopolitical issues too. And usually Michelle will have some scripture. She'll often have some jokes, because a lot of very funny people out there have some great jokes. The protocols are constantly being updated. So if you are one of our valued and regular customers, you're going to see a lot of updates, and I've got a bunch more that are coming up this weekend. We are going to have our next big sale is coming up over Thanksgiving week, and we tend to have it every 2 to 3 months, usually over a major holiday. This will be over the Thanksgiving holiday, which is the end of November. So after we deal with the shock of what's going to happen next Tuesday, and we have Thanksgiving will be a massive sale. So if you're trying to get things for yourself and relatives for Christmas, this is the time to do that, to plan. We also have always specials all the time, and we'll be back in a moment. We hopefully can track down Leo Zagami and find out if he's having internet trouble or traffic trouble or whatever it is. We'll be back in just a moment. And welcome back to the Nutrimedical Report. I want to go over some of the latest news items that are out there. Here's a couple of the more major items that are happening. Number one, Assange's WikiLeaks is saying they did not receive emails from the Russian government. So further analysis by WikiLeaks and other sources, including even journalists from the New York Times, have proven that a lot of these theses that Clinton's trying to say that the Russians were hacking in and they were literally supporting or trying to make Trump into a puppet is another foolish scheme by this maniac I call the grifter, if she does get elected, and it's unlikely now, the grifter in chief. And now we have this fool Obama smiling while he's lying to us. And he talks about here, the fate of the Republic rests on your shoulders. Obama delivers impassioned plea to America to reject Trump. Come on, now, after all this happening here, he's probably at this moment also trying to cover his own butt, because you can be certain he's had some influence over Loretta Lynch to make sure they didn't prosecute Hillary Clinton, which should have happened last year. She'd have never, ever been able to defeat Bernie Sanders, because she wouldn't even be in the race. So it would have been other people, and Bernie probably would have come out on top, and Trump would easily trump Bernie, because Bernie has some of the same issues, but he doesn't have rational solutions. He has leftist, progressive solutions that just won't work in this world. You can't create an economy, you can't get free education if you don't build jobs for them in the first place. I've posted up a link yesterday to the Hannity website. That's Hannity.com. He's got some great stuff. I consider Hannity the best journalist on television, cable or otherwise. The next best is O'Reilly, but sometimes he kind of gets a little bit high in his horse. He did mention one thing today I thought was particularly important, which I totally agree with, which is we need to have federal sentencing for people with illegal guns. Now, not if you have legal guns, no matter what you have, right up to fully automatic with 45 round clips, etc. It's your business. If you're a rational person, you properly store your guns. Which, by the way, we're going to need to make sure there's penalties for people just not storing their guns. But it's no business of the government to have national registries or try to restrict guns or to damage gun manufacturers so they can't buy bullets and drive the price to the ceiling. What we need to do is make sure people responsibly learn how to use guns. And also, by the way, I strongly encourage that they actually connect with their local sheriff. So we have literally a man-made civilian militia if anything happens, like a natural disaster, a war, or just some form of catastrophe that requires the mobilized civilians to actually have skill sets like basic trauma and cardiac life support and some tools, guns, food supplies, ways of kind of managing and working with the local sheriff. Because when there's a disaster, you tend to find FEMA tends to co-opt materials from the local people and actually interferes and causes more confusion and destruction. We saw that in Katrina down in New Orleans. So go visit the Hannity website. He also allows you interaction. He has a 3-hour radio show every day. He also does his hour over on Fox News. So I'm very impressed with John Hannity. He's, to me, he's the guy in terms of the best coverage for conservative, Christian, pro-life America. Next would be O'Reilly. That's my feeling. All the other networks are pretty useless. Another area that I often will post up articles is from Green Med Info, and you can actually get a membership. You can get research articles, etc. there. I will often post articles that I think are particularly important for people to be aware of. A special report on the Dakota Access Pipeline. People have to realize what's going on in terms of environment like fracking. Hillary and many of the Democrats support fracking with chemicals. This is going to destroy the aquifers. We need to have, and this is also something we need to get through to Trump. I'm all for getting the energy out of the ground, but I want to make sure it's done in a way that doesn't damage the environment. And there's ways of doing that. The anthracite coal in Wyoming is the best coal on the planet. It actually goes right into a park area we should allow to have access. If it's properly mined, clean coal is fantastic. It does not generate pollution. It generates white, fluffy clouds because we have proper scrubbers on it. We have literally hundreds of thousands of years of energy for not only America, but the entire planet. We're the Saudi Arabia of coal. And we have really high-quality coal, which we could sell to China. So we also have tremendous amounts of natural gas. I mean, we need to have storage systems and distribution systems to take care of that. We should be converting all of our nuclear reactors until we get to fusion reactors. All of our nuclear reactors should be switched to LNG, liquid natural gas. And we also need a distribution storage system for our power using compressed air, which my niece developed, Danielle DEAGLE, that is working with all the major power corporations around the world from China to Russia that can store 750 kilowatts of power by compressed air. And so you can even out the power curve. These are real solutions to problems, just like we talked about with primary water. So when we come back, we'll try to track down Leo, find out what. And welcome back. I was just looking at a comment over my YouTube channel, and I had a gentleman who actually tried to compare my nutraceuticals to those of Alex Jones. And this is a gentleman 4 months ago. He would never use these because he says they're the same as Alex Jones. They're not. What I provide, and this gentleman's name was Jean-Marie Vinette, over on YouTube, is I provide medical-grade, doctor-grade supplements. They are the most advanced on the planet. I teach in the Academy of Anti-Aging Environmental Advancement in Medicine. There is nothing comparable in any other radio or television show publicly available worldwide. Many of these supplements are completely unique. You cannot find anything even like them on the internet. So you need to understand that this is not equivalent. Not only that, I provide you testing. I tell people keep your skepticals on. In other words, I can tell you what conventional tests your doctor or specialist can do. I can tell you what quantum testing. I can give you evidence to prove that what we're talking about, and even provide, if necessary, articles of research. So you can't just make blanket statements like that. You have to understand, firstly, nutraceuticals we gradually are taking away. When I started many years ago, I would say 80% of the time we'd use drugs and maybe 10 to 20% nutraceuticals. This is back, say, 30 years ago. Now it's down to 5 to 10%. Drugs still have a place, but a very small place. And the reason is drugs create three things: deficiency states by actually blocking mineral or vitamin absorption and creating excessive use. For example, if you take birth control pill, you're going to get vitamin B deficiencies. If you take certain other supplements, you're actually going to create, if you've got the wrong type and they're not activated, you're going to create problems. For example, non-activated vitamin B6 will actually cause a peripheral neuropathy. You have a gene SNP polymorphism. So you need to realize that what I'm providing here is evidence-based functional medicine, which includes surgery, medicine, immunology, toxicology, infectious disease. Functional medicine deals with electromyography. For example, if someone has a pain syndrome, I can refer them to a doctor, whether a physiatrist or a chiropractor or neurologist, neurosurgeon, that can do a nerve scan with an Axon 2 scanner that I developed the technology with Dr. Jim Hedgecock, who had approval in 1997 FDA. This is the first and only technology that can objectively map pain. We also have tests that can be done at your regular local lab. For example, if you're testing thyroid, you don't just test T4 and T3 free levels. You measure reverse T3 that's covered by your test. Your doctors don't know this. This is advanced technology. I brought the test from Germany 36 years ago. So when you make comments like this, you have to understand I'm going to respond, and I want to teach you, and this, by the way, I teach doctors as well as patients worldwide. This service which I'm providing, most of it is 95% of it is free. Only when I require a consultation and have to review tons of records, or I'm doing a QRMA, and you have a bottom machine, you're going to do it independently. If you buy the machine from me, I'm going to do the QRMA analysis as part of the purchase of the machine, but it has to be for me. It has to be the right machine. And the Metapathia, I actually log on and analyze the data remotely. So there's nothing comparable available anywhere on the earth, but I want to train other doctors, and over time we will do that in other countries, so they can actually do the analysis of the tests. We're setting up satellites where people will be able to get the testing done and also some treatments. The clinic in Northern California not only has testing, but a lot of alternative care. I'm waiting for them to get their Metapathia up and operational. Once they do, we'll have some links up there to that clinic as well, but it's not available yet. If you happen to be a person that has a QRMA machine and you want to start doing testing, you can charge for just the testing and collection of the data, but do not give advice. Simply send the data, the compressed file, to me in a history form, whether it's several paragraphs or if they want a full consult. They need to get the phone consultation, at least 1 or 2 units. Usually recommend if you're going to do a consultation, it's 2 units of time, plus the 11-page history form and any medical records. MRIs, CTs, electrocardiograms, blood work, anything. And then I'll analyze and tell you what conventional doctors, surgeons, specialists, dentists, biological dentists, etc. you need to see to fix the problem. For example, if you're going to see a dentist, I usually recommend a biological dentist, so they're safely going to remove mercury amalgams and gutta-percha, which is cadmium. I'm going to also tell you that you're going to be poisoned if you go to a non-biological dentist, because their office is not free of mercury. They're going to be pulling mercury out unsafely. Also recommend that when you get an x-ray, I recommend a new pan 3D x-ray of your teeth and so on, because you'll see periodontal disease much better than the plain x-ray where they put the little film beside your tooth. So, and if you're doing TMJ, I did research with a TMJ expert many years ago. I know the right types of specialists that can evaluate your temporomandibular joint, for example, your axial spine for pain syndromes. I know about the right treatments in terms of who's going to qualify for the spinal pump and stimulator if you've got a serious pain syndrome. I was actually training for that when I went through all the garbage with the state of Colorado. You need to understand, I provide a service here that's very unique. So when you go and visit the YouTube channel, make some comments there. Now, we're also working on trying to make sure we upgrade and get our sound quality better. That's improved tremendously. We have great sound quality now. We're also going to be soon be able to do YouTube live videos as well. I'm working on that aspect also. These are all services that, as I say, 98% of them are free. The only time we're going to have to purchase a very small fee over in Vimeo is special documentary films and the wellness condition protocols. All the discussion about different products is all totally free. Pretty amazing, eh? So, again, we have a number of different channels. When you go over to the DEAGLE network, what you'll find when you go there is you can actually visit and actually put in the search engine. You can also subscribe on Android, iTunes, by email, by RSS feed, and we also provide not only the audio but videos. So a lot of the videos will be posted up on the DEAGLE network. Most of them will be over on Vimeo and YouTube. It's easier for us to put the platform there and providing more and more information. But usually now it's anywhere from 1 to 3 videos per day that's being posted up. Some of them as short as 3 or 4 minutes, some of them as long as a half an hour to an hour, like with Ann Morrison on Fridays. And these are getting pretty popular. If you look at the number of hits, it's really taken off. For example, we did a discussion just a few days ago with Jim Fetzer, and as of 20 minutes ago, on October 30th, is reopened the criminal email server scandal with Clinton's. That has already got 382 hits just in a couple days. So that's on YouTube, and it doesn't include Vimeo and other sources where we're posting up videos. Some other ones are much higher than that. For example, our one on Hillary's Health is now up to around 3,000 plus hits. People want to know this information. They're not going to get it from other sources or the depth of information that we're providing. The other thing we're working on is to add some new technology. We will be upgrading in the next few months the indium. Indiamese is excellent for increasing your mineral absorption of minerals, which is very important. If you look at for example, the French paradox, it turns out that by maintaining long telomeres using red wine, and remember, it's just the regular trans resveratrol. The dimethyl resveratrol has a much longer half-life, so it's much more powerful than the red wine. That's what's in our anti-age max. It has both. So it's much more powerful than red wine. And what the telomeres do is make sure your mineral content is optimized in your cell, which turn on your genes. So if you were to look at the mineral content in the tissues of people who drink red wine, or even more so to take our anti-age max and have long telomeres, they're going to have more optimized mineral content in their cell that's going to turn on their genes for structural proteins and enzymes. Every enzyme has a monoatomic mineral at the active site of the enzyme to catalyze the making or breaking of bonds and the structural changes of proteins to create to create the structures of your cell and to create everything. So you have to understand that without a monoatomic mineral in the active site of an enzyme, which is why minerals regulate your genes. And that's how telomeres work. So if you take our anti-age max, you take things to protect the mitochondrial DNA like cell detox glutathione and Nutrichala and carnosine D-link to protect your mitochondrial DNA because it's 30 times more likely to be damaged. The cell detox glutathione, especially in minerals and minerals plus, are extremely important. Things that are going to protect against oxidative damage like the fat-soluble thiamine, the use of Cell Defense Plus, which is our new super curcumin. These are amazing, amazing nutraceuticals. They even reverse cancer mother cells. So you're not going to find these elsewhere. So for our gentleman over there on YouTube, become more informed. I'm here to help you, even if you don't understand it and you try to lump us together. We're not the same as everybody and their dog trying to sell supplements like Alex Jones and all the other unqualified people all over the blogosphere and the internet. They are not going to provide you help. Even if you go to a place like VitaCost or YouTube or over at Amazon, you're not going to get professional help to actually know what's going on and which drugs you can stop so you can take a nutraceutical. You will from me. And most of the time, that service is free. You can't believe it. Some days I do 30, 40 consultations a day, including health providers. In fact, many health providers are contacting me because they don't want to suffer the slings and arrows of their own colleagues, especially if they have a serious health problem. So, again, that's my ministry, try to straighten people out physically and spiritually and bring truth to the issues like our election cycle. And it's all coming up now, thank God. A healthcare system We want competition like Trump, but I'm going to provide a comprehensive plan and videos which will be up by this weekend, which I'm sitting under Roger Stone and through my contacts. Dr. Ron Klatz's best friend and the co-director of the Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine is first-hand friends with Donald Trump, and I will make sure that my plan gets through to him so that they can get it. This will allow you to start looking at things like a value-added tax and a health plan where people don't need to have insurance anymore, the doctors don't need to worry about malpractice, and they're paid a salary. We need to have a system where even if you want competition in a Cadillac plan, you can have that. At the same time, we can have a system where people can and health providers can sign in, and we can start funding it in a way that takes care of everybody, so nobody is left behind. And that needs to happen. We need to become a country where people become jealous of us, say, wow, America is so righteous, and they take care of their own, and they manage their borders, and it's easy to get into the country if you're a good person, and you know, if you're an American, they're going to protect you around the world. They're not going to, you know, leave you in the lurch like Hillary Clinton did with our people in Benghazi. You know, that's what we want. We want people to be proud of America and want to emulate America in the future. And I'm hoping that with Trump and Pence and the administrations that follow after that over the next decades, that America will be admired and emulated rather than reviled and feared, especially because of crazy policies. So that's something that I'm hoping will happen. Let's look at some of the other nutraceutical protocols we've recently done, because some of these are really instructive. They give you an idea of how I approach different problems. It's very unique. And that to say, I've trained doctors how to do this so that they'll have a clear idea. For pain, for example, I start off with real simple things. Inflamex, 5 capsules twice a day. You can also use seroflozyme, which is serapeptase, to break up interfascial adhesions. You want to reduce the cytokine load, so you want to take Cell Defense Plus, Gamma E Plus, CoQ10 ubiquinol. It turns out CoQ10 water soluble is very important for reducing cytokines, along with Gamma E Plus to get rid of nitro and hydroperoxy radical. Collagen Max, because almost in every tissue there's collagen partial tears, and that releases slow reactive substance of anaphylaxis and neurotenins and bradykinin. These cause a stimulation of the autonomic and A delta and C fibers, causing pain. The primary pain gate is, and I discovered this in my 1986 patent, called the Langerhans gate. I developed homeopathic and drug ways of approaching that, homeopathic ways of actually blocking that gate. We have a new technology, by the way, for pain blocking. Besides the lumen photon, which is excellent, we now have what's called the matrix pulse. This is the micropulse is primarily for not only pain but also stem cells. The matrix pulse is just for pain, and that's now available. If you go to the link on the micropulse, you'll see that new matrix pulse device available, and we'll get Dr. Bob Dennis to come on. The other set of supplements I recommend are Tendon Mender, which affects the tenocytes, which are modified fibroblasts, Joint Performance for regenerating the joint, and of course you can help with the Collagen Max with Her Majesty's Royal Jelly, which makes pro-collagen. Now, topically to stop pain, the two that I like best are pregnenolone and curcumin cream. Pregnenolone stops the inflammatory inflammation, and the cytokines and the cell modification, stem cell regeneration is their curcumin cream. So you can start off simple with just one or two things like Inflamex and seroflozyme and perhaps Collagen Max and Tendon Mender. If things don't modify, it depends whether or not it's an osteoarthritis or a rheumatoid. If we have rheumatoid arthritis or autoimmune, we would use things like malignant rest and a ketogenic diet. And we also need to deal with small bowel overgrowth and leaky gut syndrome, because oftentimes these are factors causing autoimmunity because of what's called immune homology, where proteins in the tissue are identical to a pathogen or a portion of a pathogen that's triggering off your immune system to attack it. Recently got a request from someone who's down in Australia, wanted to know how to use a NutriSilver for decubitus or bed sores. Simply spray 2 or 3 sprays in the region every 3 or 4 hours, and then cover it with pregnenolone and curcumin cream to speed the healing and regeneration. If you're trying to maintain nitric oxide and circulation in the area, especially where it's being compressed, you want to be on cardiovasc. You want to be on Gamma E+. You want to be on things that thin the blood so it doesn't clot, such as nattokinase. And, of course, you want to have topical things to speed the healing of the tissue, such as pregnenolone and curcumin cream, to speed the healing and regeneration of the skin. And Let's see. We have also lots of interesting requests here. Someone talking about vaginal dryness and hormone support. I recommend DHEA. You take 4 to 8 pumps. With the new pump now we have for the DHEA. The older one is just 1 pump. And pregnenolone 4 pumps to 8 pumps, which are a smaller pump. But it's great cream, and it's transdermal, so it goes directly into your bloodstream, bypasses the liver, doesn't get destroyed or modified. And the upper abdomen and lower chest where the skin is thinner. And progesterone, which is the old femgesterone, 4 pumps of using the new one and 1 pump the old. Then you use hormone synergy, 2 caps in the morning to prevent your female hormones from being converted to male. Your body will make your adrenal hormones the appropriate amount. It'll make your female hormones and the vaginal dryness go away because your body will make estrogen, and the femgesterone or progesterone cream will support your hormone balance. It'll stop hot flashes with the hormone synergy. We also call it flash away. So that works really well. Let's see. We also have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Now, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and I get hundreds of different conditions. This is one that I'm going to be posting up. Ehlers-Danlos is a copper-dependent enzyme where you don't make proper elastin. And if you don't have that, your aorta can stretch. Usually Ehlers-Danlos people are really tall. They have long limbs. They can be at risk of all kinds of things, vascular disease, aortic aneurysms, etc., and chronic ligamentous and muscular problems. The first thing we want to do is increase the copper-dependent enzymes. That's copper Regenemax, which is the copper ligand, Minerals Plus, Collagen Max, the Nutrimeds for Majesty's Royal Jelly for making collagen, and Mountain Red Velvet for the building blocks to rebuild the tissues that are degenerating. So that gives you an idea. That'll be posted up. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a genetic disorder of elastin production. Back in a moment with more. And your question, well, Leo, we had some connections. I think your connection is now much, much better, Leo. Unfortunately, we only do the segment today, but we're going to do a update on Saturday, and that update on Saturday will be around 12 noon my time, which is 8 o'clock before the time change here. It'll switch again. It calls fall back, spring forward. So we'll do that talk on Saturday. I want to get your opinion on 2 things. What's going on in Europe? Because remember last time we talked about Italy being told, and we talked about this with later Harley Schlanger on Wednesday. Italy's been told that the austerity fascism of Brussels, they don't want to rebuild the buildings or the infrastructure or even the water supplies. So we have a lot of homeless people, and the Brussels people don't want to do it. The Italians are up in arms over that. The second is I want to get your opinion about the election, because the latest tsunami dealing with the Clinton Foundation means she's probably finished, but if she does get elected, I'm going to change her title from, Big Sis, which instead of Big Brother, but also to the Grifter in Chief. How's that?
Okay, I think that maybe you have missed the latest news, which is even, I think, more relevant here in Europe for what's going on with the High Court in London that accepted the request of a group of pro-European activists. Basically, they are trying to block the Brexit in England, in Great Britain. And this is of course something that is completely outrageous, and they are. It's going on today. It's major news also here in Italy. Basically, these people who have managed to get this thing to the High Court said that they are determined to kind of stop this process, or at least delay it. The government, in any case, doesn't have any intention, it seems, to modify the timings that were indicating before. But, of course, it seems like Brexit is a big Achilles heel for the EU.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to expand on a lot of topics. We'll talk about the election cycle in America, Brexit, what's happening with the banks in Europe, with the German bank, Deutsche Bank, where they're pushing it over the edge, the austerity fascism against the Italian people, the earthquake and what's happening, because the big one is coming. Thank you, Leo. We'll get you back on Saturday in 2 days, and we'll do a very extensive interview. Thank you for us finally connecting, and I think our audio is superior now, so we have great connections and great shows. Again, Get part 1 and part 2 of Confessions of Illuminati. Get informed. Get the books right away. Thank you, Leo.